Hey guys, so this is not the traditional way I open my videos, but I am one of the hosts for the housecup-a-thon. So if you are not participating in the housecup-a-thon, then go to this timestamp if you want to actually watch the video. Because I have some instructions for housecup-a-thon participants right now. Hey guys, this is the video that you need to be watching if you are taking part of round 2 in the housecup-a-thon. I am one of the co-hosts for the housecup-a-thon. My name's Adrian. Hi, we'll talk about that again in a minute. I'll introduce myself. So this is the video that you need if you're wanting to find the answer to the riddle for the housecup-a-thon, for my riddle of the housecup-a-thon. If you do not know, my riddle is, I get wet so you say dry, what am I? At some point in this video that will follow this clip, you will see my top 3 books of 2019. And at some point in this video, you will see the answer to that riddle. Linked down below, you will find the Google forum where you can put in your answer to the riddle. This has all of the hosts, prompts in them, all of their riddles, all the places you can give your answers. So I recommend that you take a note for my answer and then go find the answers in my co-hosts videos. Those will also be linked down below, so you can go find them. They're also linked on the Discord, which I'm assuming honestly is how you got here if you're here for the riddle. So if you are wanting to do that, this is the video. This is where you need to be. You are in the right place. So I'm going to go ahead and stop talking now and let Past Me get on with her video. And keep in mind that at some point in this video, you will see the answer to this riddle. You will need to take note of the timestamp. So when you see the answer to the riddle, pause the video, write down what timestamp it is, and that'll be the answer that you're going to put in the box for my riddle. So yeah. There you go. Hello BookTube, my name is Adrian and welcome back to my channel, and today we're going to be talking about my top 3 books from 2019. So we're well into January of 2020 and I haven't made any videos about what I thought of books in 2019 this year. So this is going to be the video where I talk about the top 3 books that I read in 2019. And when I say top 3 books, I just mean that these are the 3 books that stick out in my mind the most for 2019. Books that shaped my year, or books that definitely were the standouts. I had a lot of books that in 2019 that I really enjoyed. I read over 300 books in 2019, so I had a lot of books that were good books. I had a lot of 5-star reads. I had a lot of books that are new favorites, but when it boils down to it, these are the 3 books that when I think about 2019, these are the books that I think about first. These are the books that I remember, and these are the ones that I'm excited to potentially read again soon. So with that being said, let's just go ahead and talk about the 3 books that are the standout books for 2019. So the first book I'm going to talk about is The Flat Share by Beth O'Leary. This is a book that I have read 4 times already. I read it for the first time in August of last year. I loved it. Gave it 5 stars. It was such a good book. It dealt with some pretty heavy topics as well as just being really light and really fun. If you do not know what this book is about, it is a adult contemporary romance. This book follows one of our main characters, Tiffy, as she is leaving her ex-boyfriend, moving out of their house that they shared together, and trying to find a place of her own. However, she lives in London. It's kind of expensive to live there, so she ends up getting a flat share where the arrangement is that they share one bed, but she gets the flat during the night and he gets the flat during the day because he works night. The flatmate works the night shift and Tiffy works day shift. So they're never in the apartment at the same time. The idea is that they would never actually necessarily meet each other. They just coexist in the same house at different times of day. So we follow her perspective of moving into this house, kind of getting used to the idea of sharing this flat, as well as her flatmate, Leon, who is a nurse working the night shift in a hospice ward, and he, kind of dealing with a lot of personal things, a lot of things going on in his life, and sharing this space with Tiffy when they don't know each other. And they kind of get to know each other through leaving notes for each other around the house and having these really long conversations over Post-it note, basically, just left around the house. And eventually they do have a meet cute where they do meet each other just at random, and they kind of start to get to know each other. They start to overlap their time. He still works night shift, she still works day shift, but they overlap a little bit. And then on weekends they spend time together. So they kind of get to know each other really well through this whole time, and they form a relationship. And it's one of these stories that I really loved. It was a beautiful way to meet somebody. Like, it was just such a really unique way for me to experience a couple forming before they even really get to meet. So I really loved it. It was, like I said, it was a 5-star read for me. I really enjoyed this book. I've read it 3 times. I read it 3 times in 2019 and once already in 2020. I read it twice in the month of August when I first read it, and then I read it again in December. Okay, no, I've only read it 3 times. I read it twice in August, once at the very beginning of August, once at the end of August, and then I read it, the first book I read in 2020 was The Flat Share. So this was absolutely a book that was just one of my favorites, and definitely a novel that I will probably continue to go back to. So the next book I have to tell you about that was kind of a standout book for me in 2019 is A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood, which is a collection of the poetry of Fred Rogers, Mr. Rogers, who did Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. This book is a collection of all of the songs and poems that he has ever written. And then they are really beautifully illustrated as well. Let me just show you here. So they have like these really beautiful illustrations in here. And it's just basically every poem he ever wrote, every song he ever sang on the Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood show, it's everything in here. And this is a book that definitely stands out for me in 2019. One, because this was a Christmas gift from my friend Gabby over the Curious Owl. You should check out her channel. So this was a gift from her. She gave it to me because she was also thinking about the fact that I can read this book with my children. And she was absolutely right on that. Lauren loves this book. It sits right back here on my bookshelf. The dust jacket's over there because it's got a dust jacket. It sits right there on my bookshelf, and all the time Lauren will come up to my bookshelf, take the book off because she can reach that shelf, take the book off the shelf and bring it to me, and we will sit down and we will read poems and songs out of this. And it's just a really cool experience to be able to read these with her and to share them with her. There have been many a time where I got a little weepy reading some of these to her, and so this is just a book that definitely stands out for me in 2019. One, because I grew up watching Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood and kind of experiencing these songs that he wrote, you know, in the show, and also because I get to now share them with my daughter, and it's just a really beautiful thing to be able to share with her. So this was the second book that was definitely a standout of 2019 for me. So the last book that I'm going to talk about in this video is Spin the Dawn by Elizabeth Lim. This is my Owl Crate edition of this book, and obviously it's in this video. It was one of my favorite books of 2018. It was the standout book for me, and so this book, if you don't know what this book is about our main character, Mia. I don't know exactly how to pronounce her name, but she is the daughter of a tailor. She has 3 older brothers. She lives in a world where women can't take over the family business, even though she is the best of her siblings at the job. She loves it. She loves being a tailor. It's her favorite thing. She's really good at it. One day, a representative for the emperor comes to her town and says that the best tailors in the country are being called to the emperor's palace to participate in a competition to become the personal tailor for, I believe, the emperor's future daughter-in-law. So they all get called to the palace, but her dad is not capable any longer of being a tailor. He's in a very bad mental place, and he does not actually do any of the tailoring work anymore. Mia does it. And so she, a la Mulan, disguises herself as a boy and takes on the role of the oldest son of her father and the future owner of their company, and goes to the palace to participate in this competition. She ends up having a pair of magic scissors that can do a lot of the tailoring work for her, though she doesn't want to use them because of cheating. And then through a series of very bizarre events, she ends up going on a bit of an adventure with the court enchanter to make this really magical and special garment. I absolutely loved this book. It did not go the way I expected it to. It did not kind of follow the standard path that I was expecting it to, which was amazing. And this is the first book in a series. There are going to be sequels, and I have already pre-ordered the sequels, and I'm so excited to be able to continue on in this series. So this is definitely one of my standout books for the year, because it was very surprising in its nature. It was beautiful writing. It was a well-told story, and yeah, it just surprised me a lot, and I think that's what makes books kind of be standouts, or when they do things you don't expect. So this was definitely a standout book for me in 2019. So there you go, guys. Those are my top 3 books of 2019, or my 3 standout reads of 2019, books that definitely shaped my year or shaped my reading in some way. So yeah, those are the books that I wanted to tell you about today. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you guys in my next one.